Well, I just wanted to start by asking you to tell us a little bit about the show, the dance scene, how it came to be, how you got involved, all that fun stuff.
So basically, I heard that there was an audition for a new show on E! It was Ryan Seacrest Productions, involving Lorianne Gibson, who's Lady Gaga's choreographer.
Right.
And so I went and I auditioned, and I wasn't necessarily that interested in reality TV. I just was interested in like the Ryan Seacrest part and the E! part. So, I was like, I'll go, I'll meet people, and it'll be great. And then they ended up asking me to do the show, and we filmed the pilot, and then the pilot got picked up, and we ended up filming 8 episodes. So that's where I'm at now. But the show is basically like the Hills meets the dance world, kind of just a behind-the-scenes look at, how hard we work and what it's like to be a dancer, basically. And it's kind of more about Lorianne's company, which is Boomtac.
Right.
And she's really busy, so she needs more help. And she hires 2 people, or she keeps hiring assistants to just help her out and test them out to see if they can handle it, basically.
Well, what about Lorianne? Like, what's it been like working with her?
Well, Lorianne is intense, and I actually knew Lorianne when I lived in New York. I was a little younger, and didn't really know better, and I worked with her a couple times, and then working with her on the show was probably the longest I've worked with her, and she's definitely intense, but, she's tough, and she wants the best, and she will push you until, as she says, until your knuckles bleed.
Well, on that note, I was going to ask, what's been one of the most challenging aspects of the show?
I think for me, it's exposing my personal life a little bit. I'm not used to that.
Right.
And, especially being a dancer. You just get up, you dance, you do your thing, and you're done.
Right.
Being on the show, it's like, you really do see our lives and our personal lives. And I think for me, that's probably been the hardest part. Like my personal relationships, my family relationships, it's definitely hard. And, I'm an open person. I wonder if I'm a little too open, but
right.
You know what? People can relate, so that's just kind of how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, was it difficult? Because, you have camera crews following you around?
It took a lot to get used to. I have to say, there were times when I was, shopping, and I was like, am I mic'd up? You're so used to having a mic on you.
Right.
And, but at first, it's like the weirdest thing ever, and then they just kind of disappear, and you kind of just, you're normal.
Kind of get used to it,
I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing that you forget they're there.
Well, what about you? What were 3 traits you would use to describe yourself?
Definitely extremely hardworking. As cliche as that sounds, I'm a hard worker. I'm definitely a little dorky, and I like to say I'm funny. I don't know if anybody else agrees, but I like to think so. Yeah.
I know you've mentioned acting as another career aspiration. I know you've worked on several movies, including Burlesque. When did you first know you wanted to act? When did you first get the acting bug?
I think I've had the acting bug. I just didn't realize it. I think it was covered by the dancing bug.
Right.
I think they go hand in hand. And I think just performing in general.
Right.
I love it. And dancing, I want it to always be a part of my life. 100%, I always wanted a part of my life. But I'm also at a point where, I might need to start thinking of some other options. And I've been really working hard, just like in acting. I'm at an acting school, and I don't know, I've started to really love it lately. And probably these past, 3-4 years is when I was like, okay, I want to do this as well.
Right.
It's equally as creative, and I'm starting to really love it as much as I love dance.
Well, on a little bit different note, I know you've cheered for the Patriots and the Knicks. I have to ask what that was like.
Cheering for the Patriots, I was still in high school, actually, and it was the only audition near my hometown, so I was like, okay, I'm going. Even if I don't make it, I'm just going. And I don't really think I knew I was getting myself into, but, it was 2 hours away from my home, so I would travel. So, But that year they ended up winning the Super Bowl. I was a little naive, but I think they whipped me into shape, and I have, probably need to thank them because I got professional really fast.
Right,
but,
right.
We got to go to the Super Bowl, which was amazing. I got a Super Bowl ring. Like, I don't think I realized how awesome that was until,
right.
5 years later. But, and then I moved to New York, and I also danced for the New York Knicks, which that was kind of like my thing because we were really dancing. We weren't necessarily cheerleading, we were dancing.
Right.
And I think the best part out of that is, like, I made some of the closest friends. Like, basically those girls that I met on that team are my family.
Right.
A lot of them have moved out to LA, and, I have some really close friendships now. I love those girls. So that's probably the best part of it.
Well, one last question, and then I'll let you enjoy the rest of your day. What would you? I know you knew from an early age that you wanted to be a dancer, and then sometimes we kind of lose sight of that. So, what would your advice be to other dancers?
Well, I think now it's an even better time and opportunity for people who want to be dancers. When I was younger, I didn't even know you could be a dancer,
right?
Because it really wasn't that popular, and now it's everywhere. Luckily for me, I think I think I said this before somewhere, but for me it was just like, okay, you can't control whether you get a job or if you don't, but
right.
You can control the things if you're in shape, you can control the things that make sure that you continue training and that you just work hard and that you're ready for whenever an opportunity comes. You're like, okay, I can do that. You're just ready for whatever people throw at you. And whatever you can control, I think just work hard at that. So whatever's not really in your control, which is a lot of it in
right.
this industry, you can handle. And it's hard because you're going to get rejected all the time. All the time. If you can handle that well and try not to take it personally, I think you'll be fine.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. It looks awesome.
Thank you.